I was at the retreat, our ninth annual Soulful Self-Care PJ retreat, and we also threw it a summit this time, and both of those combined was amazing. We had women that walked away sharing their story that nobody else in the world had heard before.
Sunshine, good to see you again. Had to walk out to let you back in. Stuck in a storm of a relationship. Lost my fire. Oh, and I forgot about me for way too long. But it's rolled on. Now there ain't no shade around here.
So it's really great. One of our speakers, Mia Hanks, she came in and she shared her story for the first time about what was happening in her world. And I can't share it right now. It will come out in January because it was a sacred space. But then we do these breakout sessions. And during one of the breakout sessions, Angie Grimes, who's one of our speakers for the weekend, I saw this like gaze on her face. And I was like, do you want to go talk? Because that's what I do at the retreat. Like I watch for moments where maybe somebody's getting the aha moments and I want to take them away and let them embrace that aha moment. So in that moment, she shared how she was being inspired and being called to share her story where only 4 people in the world knew her story. And even I didn't know, and I've known Angie for quite a little while. And so I was like, hey, let's share it. And then she shared her story, and it was so powerful. It was her life journey from a little girl to who she is today and how it shaped who she is today. It was so powerful. So it just warmed my heart, Neil, because here we are, we're creating this space that I've always wanted to do over the last 9 years of giving the people, the women there, the opportunity to be open about who they really are. And it just goes to show, because people ask me, why the no makeup rule? And this is exactly why this example is when we take our makeup off as women, we take off our mask. We become truly, not just authentically as we hear on the inside somewhat, but even on the outside to where it gets to our soul. And so these women, like these 2 women are 2 of the prime examples of the 20 women that we had that really opened up over the weekend and shared who they were. So it was amazing. It was everything I wanted it to be, everything I've prayed for it to be, and everything that I wanted the ladies to receive.
That's fantastic, and that's the power of retreat. So
Yeah.
much uh, caring, sharing, and developing, and everyone has plans to come out of this, don't they?
Yeah, it's really great because we do like one of the ladies before she left on Monday morning when we checked out of the house was she's like, Pearl, I watched you take us on the journey the entire weekend. Like we come in, we get to be vulnerable, we get to have fun, and then it's a little bit of work, and then it's some hard work, and then it's a transformation. And it's so great that people see and feel and walk away with what my vision is. You're a business owner. We have these plans for our business. We want our clients to get the journey that we're putting out there. And it's just heartwarming to see that journey unfold in front of your eyes at something like this retreat.
No doubt. And that's the power of it. And everyone gets together, there's new opportunities and new things. And so that leads off from the retreat to some new opportunities and new things. Update us there.
Yeah, so the really great thing is I'm a say yes to your life coach. It's really important for me to help women to learn that we're more than our titles, we're more than volunteer, we're more than a wife, a mom, all those things that we tell everybody we are. I love to coach women to step into who they truly want to be. And this retreat, again, showed an example of one of the ladies that I've worked with since last year's retreat. So Moni, she had a vision of becoming a virtual assistant here. She lives here in the US to have her value be worth what she's charging. And so from last year to this year, she's launched her business. She left her corporate world job at a big university and she's launched her business, and she presented with us over the weekend. She got an opportunity, not only she launched it, but she was a sponsor. So she got an opportunity to speak at our retreat. And so to watch, your clients like this, it's like watching our little kids like bloom and become these people that they are. And so out of that retreat, I have another client I'm working with, Melissa is her name. And her and we had our first meeting the other day, and she's like, wow, you told me finding my joy list was going to be hard. And by the time we got done with the call, she goes, now I get why. Because one of the things that I love to do as a say yes to your life coach is to help you identify what your joy is. However, why is it bringing you joy? Like we're going to break it down. In that first phone call, it took us an hour to break down one of her items on her joy list. And so the bottom line is we can walk around this world, we can wear our titles, we can be who we say we are. but inside, do you truly feel it? Do you feel like your cup is overflowing? And so that's where we're on the journey now. So now, we're starting. I'm taking on 4 more clients this month, and so if you're listening and watching us, and you are ready to say yes to your life and release the titles and learn how to live for you, and your titles come afterwards, that's what I'm here to help my clients do.
Absolutely. That's exactly. And you told me the retreat's almost full already
Yeah.
for
Oh
next
my
year.
gosh, it's so cool. So next year's our 10th one. Next year's our Jubilee. We're going back to the Gulf Shores of Alabama. I love my hometown of Tampa, and I really love doing my retreats at the Gulf Shores of Alabama. So we're going back next year. We had 25 spots that we opened up. We only have 8 spots left today. And, like we're not even a month from the retreat just closing up. And so we have 8 spots left. And the really cool thing, Neil, and I don't think I shared with you previously, is the house that we have is right front center on the beach. It's facing the beach, the pool, everything. But the name of the house, Neil, you're gonna die when you hear. When I looked it up, I always look for God moments when I'm finding my retreat homes. And the house is called, and this is no lie, it's called The Pearl.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. It goes great for our 10-year anniversary. So we're doing some really fun things. We actually this year we launched a private front oceanfront room that you can get on your own. So you can have a VIP room. It's a little bit more money than a standard ticket, but you get to have your own oceanfront room, king size bed, and you also get all the perks with it. So you get to come for a VIP, so you get to come the day before all the attendees come. So you have a little more time on the beach. You also get a massage session, and you're getting a full photo shoot with that. So we have one of those left. We sold 4. We had 4 open. We sold 3 of those that the day we launched. So if somebody's waiting and wondering, they just have to go to wslivingretreats.com to grab your spot, because next year being our 10th one, we have some really cool things planned.
Awesome. All right. So what else is new? We covered some of these things and we just I enjoyed the last conversation we were talking about because we talked about AI and how you don't use that as a therapist, all those
Oh my
different things.
gosh.
But we can go into some of these things in this conversation. But anything else new to report before we get into some stuff?
Well, I always talk about doing the things in your bucket list. I always talk about, taking time for yourself. And I haven't shared this with you, but I went to Greece with my husband in August. We did an 11-day cruise, and I my bucket list was to do the flying dress, where they take your picture and this big dress is flying behind you and everything. So that's all I wanted the entire trip. And so we paid the fee for doing that, which is really inexpensive. The girl gave me 116 photos, but there was one photo, and if you go to my social media, you'll see it. I looked at that photo, Neil, 30 different times. And my son, we lost him 3 years ago in a tragic car accident, and he always shows up. I always see signs and everything. So this photo, I had my hands up. You know how they put the hands together and they make the little heart sign? I looked at this photo 30 different times. At my retreat, my photographer, we were sitting looking at pictures. She goes, did you see what's in that picture? Isn't that really cool about the butterfly that's in that picture? I'm like, butterfly? And I looked at the picture and I'm like, the heart shape that I did reflects a butterfly on the wall. And I'm like, that's my son showing up. So I say that to you because we don't do things for ourselves. And when we do things for ourselves, you'll be surprised the gifts that come out of it. And that gift was the trip. Matt wanted us to do this trip for years, and Chuck and I finally did it. So the trip was him saying, "I see you, and I'm glad you're doing it." So yeah, that was a big thing that showed up for me. So that's part of what you get when you coach with me, is like finding those big moments you can do for yourself, for sure.
And that's the bottom line. You have to have these moments and opportunities going. What do you think the biggest theme when you're talking to women today and what they're struggling most with?
Wow, that's a great question. What I feel like I'm seeing is, we had COVID. We had this time of quietness and in our house and connecting, and we've kind of gone back almost to what we were pre-COVID. But women, I feel like, are like going, I don't want to go there. I'm struggling to find this. I call it harmony because I don't like the word balance. We can never be perfectly in balance. There's always going to be something in our life that's going to pop up, right? But they want harmony in their life. They want to be able to do the things they love, but also still show up for their job, their business, the people that they care for. And so that's what I see women are trying to figure out. How do I create that harmony? And also the other thing is like not overdoing themselves, right? So don't overcommit. And again, it comes back to that saying yes, because the guilt of saying no. But I feel like more women are starting to understand that the word no is like a complete sentence, like you say yes. And so I think they just want better ways to be able to convey that to who they're speaking with so that they show up for themselves.
Wow. And that's the thing. It's interesting, and you're right, finding the voice, because their voice is different than before COVID, and I don't understand
Yeah.
why. I understand everybody, the way we interact, how
Yeah.
we got locked into our homes, and depending on what state we were in, and really didn't experience a lot for almost 2 years, and how people just haven't come back to all that. And I
Yeah.
also think the pressures of work. I think that nowadays, work companies are really pushing people to the limit, and it's not becoming the best work-life balance. Some of them that were working virtually had to go back to work, to the
Yeah,
office,
and
and that's
it
hard too.
it is hard, and, you know, I would really encourage, I mean, even our current government to tell everybody they gotta go back to work. I would really encourage a company, if you're thinking about doing that, like, really sit down with your employees, like, get the buyback from your team. Like, my son with the company he works for, they did a whole back to work because they have government contracts, and they're actually losing a lot of employees because other people with government contracts are not following the rule of the government. Like, just because you have a government contract doesn't mean you have to work in the office like our government does, right? So they're losing a lot of employees because they lost that. You know, you had the flexibility. Like, basically, they had one day that they're off every other week, and one day that they could work from home. And so they're losing a lot of employees because they're getting promised that. My son's really smart though. Nate is hilarious. He'll tell his coworkers that are people have left, be like, they're dangling that apple in front of you, but the carrot in front of you, but they may not, they may take away and make you come back in. So really evaluate it. But I would say to companies that are thinking about that, like, we should get, you know, what does your team want? How do they work best? Because you're right, they're pulling them back and they're pushing them to the core. And you know, I think more people are, especially women. I forget. When I was away last week at a conference, I forget what who quoted it, but somebody was sharing that women are going to be the majority of the women of the deciders in over the next 10 years because more women are realizing the value of being able to have a business and working from home.
Yep. And they're seeing that, and that's what's going to happen. But it's going to be interesting to see, based on that, what's that going to bring to the corporate world. Is
Yeah.
smaller companies, just so many different things. But you're right. Then it's about women knowing their worth,
Yeah.
knowing what to charge, but also knowing what to do when their business grows, when it develops, anything, or the challenges of the day-to-day customer service with the trying times that we're dealing with today. So a lot of different stressors that maybe their significant other's not used to, and things like that, and that can cause a lot of friction and stress and kids, and they have to do all these things versus the days when they would go to work 9 to 5, come back, and then everything was turned off. When
Right.
you're running your business, you don't turn off a lot of times. You don't have those opportunities. You work different hours, and that's
Right.
different for everyone in the dynamics of the family to understand that.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, especially like bringing it back to the family. You know, when I work with my women, especially in the old day, we called stay-at-home mom. I hate that word and that sentence because we don't stay at home and eat bonbons all the day. We're doing, you know, they're probably doing laundry, you're probably cleaning, you're probably cooking, you're getting stuff ready for the kids, whatever the activities are. You're really a CEO mom, is what I like to call it. You're running a household as a business, right? And so having the opportunity to run a business from home, and then, you know, when you walk in the door, if you're working outside the house, whether you're an employee for somebody or you're an entrepreneur, you still have to come home and run that business of the household. And so I work with my clients to be like, listen, communicate your realistic expectations to those in the house, including your kids. Like, you know, at a young age, your kids can learn how to put silver in, you know, silverware away, or they can learn how to put their clothes. They may not do it perfectly, but it's like when we teach a dog, right? And I'm not saying our kids are pets, but if you think about it, I have a puppy right now. I'm teaching her how to sit, how to stay, how to do the things she has to do at a puppy age. So when we teach our kids young how to do things that they can do around the house, it helps communicate and set up the realistic expectations around the household so we're less stressed out when we come home and have to deal with the new world of what the demands are on us.
All right. The best place people can go is where? and
Best
schedule,
place you can go.
for the retreat and everything.
Yeah, I would say start at wsliving.com. That's wsliving.com. But if you want to go directly to the retreat to get one of the last 8 spots, wslivingretreats.com, and you can get all the information there.